As a negotiator, your priorities all the way to the negotiation should be to assemble relevant information that will give you an advantage, to establish negotiation objectives, and to plan the strategies and tactics you will adopt in order to achieve these objectives. And successful negotiators, which you're supposed to be one, okay? So a successful negotiator will always spend a lot of time at this stage. Of course, when I say a lot of time, it's relative. The point is you need to spend time and resources to preparation, okay? Research evidence do in fact suggest that the cause of unsuccessful negotiation can often be traced back to inadequate preparation. It just goes to tell you how much you need, okay? How much time you need to devote in preparing for that negotiation. Now, as you're doing that, there are 5 questions, okay? There are 5 questions which you need to find answers to. And the questions are, number 1, what do we want? That question, okay, what do we want, or in this case, what do you want? That question is going to give you the variables and the objectives in the negotiation. What matters or issues do we want to address, as well as what outcomes do we each want from the negotiation? And by we, I'm talking about you and the other party. Remember, these are two-way things. Now, if you're sitting there and thinking, yeah, well, I'm just going to use the distributive negotiation because I want to win and I don't care about the other party. The thing is, the other party is thinking that way too, okay? They're also interested in winning and they want you to lose. And well, yeah, and so if you're using integrative negotiation where I want to win and expect the other party to win as well, so it's a win-win approach, the same thing applies. What do you both want? So you need to figure that one out. And this could actually be things like a competitive or lower price, a bigger discount or enhanced credit terms, a reduction in supply lead time, quality improvement, or even an improved relationship with the supplier. The point is you truly need to know what you want in the negotiation. Now, the second question that you need to find an answer to is, how valuable is each of our wants to us? It isn't always the case that we get everything we want when you're negotiating. So you just have to know that, okay? I mean, it would be nice to get everything that you want, but that is not always the case. And so that would mean that at some point you're going to have to figure out how to prioritize the things that you want. So for instance, if there have been quality failures which are costing our business a lot, then the highest priority, in this case what is actually essential to get, might be quality improvement. Of course, some issues could be desirable, but not at the expense of quality. So here's what I'm saying. If you realize, okay, so, with your business, if you realize that quality issues are actually costing you money, okay, because the suppliers are probably not supplying whatever you want, then when you go to that negotiation and then you tell supplier that I would like us to negotiate a lower price. You see, lower price, if they supply those things at a lower price, that doesn't really help you, because even if they supply those stuff at a cheaper price and they're of a bad quality, you're still going to lose money. So the key thing here is that the quality issues is costing you money, and therefore quality becomes a priority in that negotiation. So obviously a lower price is nice to achieve, but in this case, it is not essential. And the way you prioritize your wants will play a vital role in developing the negotiation agenda and defining the negotiation objectives. Now, before we move on to the next thing, I just want to quickly point out that if you are serious about improving your negotiation skills, your presentation skills, your communication, basically if you're serious about improving your career, all right, then here's what you need to do, okay? Check out Skillshare. And the cool thing about Skillshare, unlike other learning platforms, is that, when you go there, it's not just a case of you checking out one course and then, doing it and then you're done and then you have to pay for the next course. It's like, no, okay? So you go there, check out one course. Let's say you sign up for a negotiation course, or you sign up for a sales course, or you sign up for whatever, communication course, right? So once you're done with that course, you will obviously, get a chance to just start another course within that month, all right? So it's not like if once you're done with one, you have to pay for the next one. And then, here's the thing about those guys as well. All the courses that you see there are actually going to be project-based. What does that mean? Well, it's simple. It means that everything you're studying there is, or rather has a practical nature. So it isn't just one of those theoretical concepts that you study and then you move on. Everything has a project that you're supposed to do, if you like. So the point is you are learning by doing, all right? So go ahead, sign up using the link in the video description, all right? And yeah, by doing that, you benefit, I benefit. That's a good news to the both of us. All right. So go ahead, check out Skillshare, and I'll see you on the other side. Number 3, why do we want what we want? Now, let's say you know what you want. All right. We've already established that you actually know what you want. And in fact, you know the priority, okay? What takes priority over what? The question still remains, why do you want that thing? So that is still something that you need to figure out, okay? I mean, yeah, you want quality, you want a lower price, you want better credit terms. Sure. Why do you want those things? It is important to seek to understand the needs, business requirements, drivers, stakeholder influence, and risks or fears underlying the negotiation objectives on both sides. Now, how will this help you in negotiation? First of all, we've already pointed out that negotiation can be distributive in nature, okay? In which case you want to win and you expect the other party to lose. I mean, that could be the thing about that particular negotiation. Or it could be integrative, in which case you're both working towards winning. And so by knowing why you want whatever it is that you want, that can help determine the approach you're going to use in negotiation. Actually, first of all, the approach you're going to use will depend on whether you care about the relationship or you just care about the results or you care about both. If all you want is a relationship, well, let's say if all you want is a result and you don't really care about the relationship, then you're going to go with a distributive approach, right? I mean, I want to win, I want the results. Yeah, But if you want a continuous relationship with the supplier and you also want the result because you want to be dealing with that supplier in long term, then you're going to go with a win-win. And that will determine, or rather that will depend on why you want whatever you want. Because if you want quality, okay, you want the product to be delivered at a certain quality, and you're only willing to pay that much, then there is a question of, do you still want to be dealing with this supplier long term? If the answer is no, then you're going to go with the distributive approach, all right? But if the answer is yes, then you're going to find a way to still get what you want without, costing the supplier a lot of money. If the supplier's problem in that case is how much you're paying, and that would mean that you go with the, the integrative approach. That is the reason why, okay, that is one of the reasons why you need to know why you want what you want. I mean, it's not just because you can figure out, because it will help you to figure out the approach used in negotiation. It will also help you to know how hard or soft, okay, or whichever tactics you're going to use when you are negotiating. The fourth question that you need to find an answer to is, what is your entry point in that negotiation? Think of it this way. So you know what you want, all right? You sort of know how you're going to prioritize them, okay? Why you want whatever you want. It's not going to make much difference if you have an answer to those. If you know what you want, if you know how you're going to prioritize them in terms of what is important, even know why you want them, the question still remains, how are you going to start that negotiation, okay? How are you going to enter the negotiation? Because how you start a negotiation for the most part tend to determine how it will end, in the sense that your success or failure will depend on the entry you used. In distributive negotiation, mainly devoted to bargaining, this might refer to an opening bid or an opening statement about your position or target outcome. If you are negotiating to buy a car, but want to spend no more than, say, $12,000 on the car, then you may open with a number that is less than $12,000. And if you're thinking, wait, if I'm buying a car, then the seller is the one who's going to suggest the price. Yeah, how do you think the seller came up with that price? Do you really think the number they're giving you is the number that they're actually thinking you're going to pay? It's a number that they hope you will pay, but they know you won't pay that. So they're just telling you that so that you have a point to start, and then maybe you can bargain, or hopefully you can bargain and settle for a number that they actually want. These are one of those situations that, it's one of those positions and interest in negotiation. So they might say 12,000. That is their best hope for price. But the actual price that the 12,000, yes, but they're not willing to go below, say, 8,000, which means they're hoping that you'll settle somewhere between 12 and 8. Now, the same thing applies to you. If you're the one who says how much you're willing to spend, then you could start with an exaggerated number. You could say, well, I'm willing to spend 7. And then they can say, tell you something about that. And then that will help you to figure out if they're willing to go for that, or, what number they're hoping for. So that all just comes down to your opening statement in a distributive negotiation. In an integrative negotiation, the entry point may be a working identification and definition of the issue or problem requiring negotiation. Because in integrative, you actually are trying to jointly solve the problem. So rather than starting with this, how much I'm willing to pay for, you can start with this, the problem, your supply delays, or these are some of the issues that your quality problems are costing us. So how can we fix that? Because at the moment, we are not at the place where we wish to be. So why would you tell a supplier that? Well, simple, because you're hoping that they'll suggest some solutions and then you can work from there. Because the alternative is just to say, look, you guys are supplying a bad quality thing and you either fix it or we go with another supplier. So, that is a distributive thing. That is not how you do it in integrative negotiation. But the key thing here was for you to find an answer to the question, what is our entry point? Now, number 5, our final question is, what is our exit point? Most people tend to look at negotiation as though it's a linear process, as in 1, 2, 3, and then we succeed. And yeah, it's not that way. Okay, it's never really linear because, we wish it were, but it isn't. So, that's just the thing. The point is, you need an exit plan in negotiation because you know what they said about the best laid plan of men and mice. It's not always the case that you're going to get whatever it is that you want. So you have to ask yourself, what happens if I don't get what I want? And that would actually mean coming up with a walk-away position. So you need to know that. Okay, knowing what you want, knowing how you're going to get into that negotiation, knowing why you want whatever it is that you want. But then there's the question of what if you don't get what you want, which is where the exit point comes in. So what is your walk-away position? What is that position which if they can't go beyond or if they just settle for that and then you walk away, it becomes your best alternative to the negotiated agreement, basically the partner. So you need to know that. Think of it this way. If you can't say no, then you cannot negotiate. All right? Because imagine walking to your HR's office and saying, I need a salary raise. And then they tell you, no, you won't get it. And then you're like, okay, yeah, but I wish I could get one. And then it's like, okay, so what happens if you don't give you the salary raise? Nothing, I just go back to my office. Yeah, good, go back to your office. That is what's going to happen because you can't say no. So you always need to figure out your walk-away position. Okay? So 5 questions that you need to figure out when you're preparing for negotiation. Number 1, what do you want? Number 2, how valuable is each of our wants to us? Number 3, why do we want what we want? 4, what is our entry point? And what is our exit point? So you need to figure that one out. All right? Otherwise, you are really, really increasing the chances that you're not going to be successful in that negotiation.